Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The sill of a door. A horizontal piece of wood or stone that forms the bottom of a doorway and offers support when passing through a doorway. The entrance, the space in a wall, through which you enter or leave a room or building. The space that a door can close. The smallest detectable sensation. A region marking a boundary. The starting point for a new state or experience. On the threshold of manhood. The sill of a door. A horizontal piece of wood or stone that forms the bottom of a doorway and offers support when passing through a doorway. The sill of a door. A horizontal piece of wood or stone that forms the bottom of a doorway and offers support when passing through a doorway. The entrance, the space in a wall, through which you enter or leave a room or building. The space that a door can close. He stuck his head in the doorway. Anything providing a means of access, or escape. We closed the door to Haitian immigrants. A room that is entered via a door. His office is the third door down the hall on the left. A structure where people live or work, usually ordered along a street or road. The office next door. A swinging or sliding barrier that will close the entrance to a room or building or vehicle. He knocked on the door. The entrance, the space in a wall, through which you enter or leave a room or building. The space that a door can close. He stuck his head in the doorway. The entrance, the space in a wall, through which you enter or leave a room or building. The space that a door can close. The smallest detectable sensation. A region marking a boundary. The limit beyond which something happens or changes. On the brink of bankruptcy. The edge of a steep place. A ceremonial or emblematic staff. A region marking a boundary. The limit beyond which something happens or changes. On the verge of tears. A grass border along a road. Border on. Come close to. His behavior verges on the criminal. Geology. A flat, usually horizontal, mass of igneous rock between two layers of older sedimentary rock. Structural member consisting of a continuous horizontal timber forming the lowest member of a framework or supporting structure. Put into a trance. Something that provides access, to get in or get out. They waited at the entrance to the garden. A movement into or inward. The act of entering. She made a grand entrance. Attract. Cause to be enamored. Something that provides access, to get in or get out. Beggars waited just outside the entryway to the cathedral. A written record of a commercial transaction. Something that provides access, to get in or get out. Beggars waited just outside the entryway to the cathedral. The act of beginning something new. The act of entering. Something, manuscripts or architectural plans and models or estimates or works of art of all genres etc. Submitted for the judgment of others, as in a competition. An item inserted in a written record. Something that provides access, to get in or get out. The right to enter. The principal dish of a meal. An entrance, especially a theatrical entrance onto a stage or as if onto a stage. She made a graceful entree into the ballroom. something that provides access, to get in or get out. An unelaborated elementary awareness of stimulation. An unelaborated elementary awareness of stimulation. Someone who is dazzlingly skilled in any field. An unelaborated elementary awareness of stimulation. A sensation of touch. The faculty through which the external world is apprehended. A general feeling of excitement and heightened interest. Anticipation produced in me a sensation somewhere between hope and fear. A state of widespread public excitement and interest. The news caused a sensation. An unelaborated elementary awareness of stimulation. An unelaborated elementary awareness of stimulation. An unelaborated elementary awareness of stimulation. Form the boundary of, be contiguous to. Bound by contract. A light, self-propelled movement upwards or forwards. Spring back. Spring away from an impact. Covered or wrapped with a bandage. An injury bound in fresh gauze. The greatest possible degree of something. What he did was beyond the bounds of acceptable behavior. Usually followed by to, governed by fate. Bound to happen. Headed or intending to head in a certain direction, often used as a combining form as in college-bound students. Children bound for school. Place limits on, extent or amount or access. Move forward by leaps and bounds. The horse bounded across the meadow. A line determining the limits of an area. The line or plane indicating the limit or extent of something. Bound by an oath. A bound official. Confined by bonds. Bound and gagged hostages. Confined in the bowels. He is bound in the belly. Held with another element, substance or material in chemical or physical union. Secured with a cover or binding, often used as a combining form. Bound volumes. The attribute of urgency in tone of voice. His voice had an edge to it. Lie adjacent to another or share a boundary. Advance slowly, as if by inches. He edged towards the car. Provide with a border or edge. Edge the tablecloth with embroidery. The boundary of a surface. A line determining the limits of an area. A sharp side formed by the intersection of two surfaces of an object. He rounded the edges of the box. A slight competitive advantage. He had an edge on the competition. Provide with an edge. Edge a blade. The outside limit of an object or area or surface. A place farthest away from the center of something. The edge of the leaf is wavy. The greatest possible degree of something. A line determining the limits of an area. The line or plane indicating the limit or extent of something. The time at which something is supposed to begin. Get off the ground. Who started this company? Bulge outward. The time at which something is supposed to begin. They got an early start. Begin work or acting in a certain capacity, office or job. Start a new job. Get going or set in motion. We simply could not start the engine. A line indicating the location of the start of a race or a game. Have a beginning, in a temporal, spatial, or evaluative sense. Prices for these homes start at $250,000. A signal to begin, as in a race. The starting signal was a green light. Bring into being. A turn to be a starter, in a game at the beginning. He got his start because one of the regular pitchers was in the hospital. Set in motion, cause to start. The U.S. started a war in the Middle East. Take the first step or steps in carrying out an action. Who will start? Begin an event that is implied and limited by the nature or inherent function of the direct object. She started the soup while it was still hot. A sudden involuntary movement. He awoke with a start. Begin or set in motion. I start at 8 in the morning. Have a beginning characterized in some specified way. Leave. Move or jump suddenly, as if in surprise or alarm. She startled when I walked into the room. The advantage gained by beginning early, as in a race. With an hour's start he will be hard to catch. The act of starting something. Play in the starting lineup. The beginning of anything. It was off to a good start. The fielding position of the player on a baseball team who is stationed at first of the bases in the infield, counting counterclockwise from home plate. Indicating the beginning unit in a series. Serving to set in motion. His first, or maiden, speech in Congress. Serving to begin. The first verse. The time at which something is supposed to begin. Ranking above all others. Was first in her class. Prominently forward. The lowest forward gear ratio in the gearbox of a motor vehicle, used to start a car moving. The first element in a countable series. The first of the month. Before anything else. First we must consider the garter snake. The first or highest in an ordering or series. He wanted to be the first. An honors degree of the highest class. Highest in pitch or chief among parts or voices or instruments or orchestra sections. First soprano. Preceding all others in time or space or degree. The first house on the right. The time at which something is supposed to begin. She knew from the get-go that he was the man for her. The time at which something is supposed to begin. Make up for. His skills offset his opponent's superior strength. A natural consequence of development. Structure where a wall or building narrows abruptly. Compensate for or counterbalance. Offset deposits and withdrawals. A plate makes an inked impression on a rubber blanketed cylinder, which in turn transfers it to the paper. A compensating equivalent. A horizontal branch from the base of plant that produces new plants from buds at its tips. Cause, printed matter, to transfer or smear onto another surface. Create an offset in. Offset a wall. Produce by offset printing. Offset the conference proceedings. The time at which something is supposed to begin. A start given to contestants. I was there with my parents at the kickoff. Football. A kick from the center of the field to start a football game or to resume it after a score. The time at which something is supposed to begin.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.